Hello and welcome. My name is Jen and I'm so honored to be guiding you through today's yin yoga practice. Today's yin practice is all about slowing down and specifically releasing the low back. So if you have any props, you've got blocks, a blanket, a bolster, please grab those now. You'll want to have those with you as we are easing into each posture. If you don't have a bolster, any kind of a beach towel or a blanket sort of rolled up to get this optimal shape would work for you. This is just to give us a little bit of elevation. If you don't have those things available, that's okay too. Yin yoga is very accessible no matter what. So make yourself comfortable. We're going to start today in a comfortable seat just for a few moments to get into breath. Now, if you haven't practiced yin yoga before or it's been a while, know that we won't be doing a ton of different postures. The purpose of yin yoga is to really get beyond the muscles into the fascia, the connective tissue. So we hold our shapes for longer than you would in any other practice. And that just allows us to really dig deep physically and emotionally to release anything locked inside. So you can sit as I am with one shin in front of the other. You can also sit hips on heels if this isn't very accessible for you today. Do what makes you feel best. Again, we're just tapping into breath to get started, so however you're comfortable. So with palms on knees, I want you to shift around a little side to side, so kind of feel into your side bodies. We want to bring just some awareness to how the body is feeling first off. Whether this is first thing in the morning or midday or evening for you, our bodies feel different at different times of day, right? So we want to be aware of where we're at each day, each time we practice. Coming back to center, bring your head side to side. Good, same thing. Is the left side tighter than the right? Does one side feel like it needs a little extra attention today? Always want to tune in and ask our bodies what they need. Okay, go ahead and bring that back to neutral. Dip your chin toward the chest, and you can stay here or you can use hands behind the head, just some really gentle pressure. You can rock a little side to side if that feels good. A couple deep breaths here, letting the back of the neck and the top of the spine start to extend and relax. Good, and then bring that all the way up. And lastly, we'll start to pull our shoulders up and back a couple of times, maybe 3 or 4 times. Make those really big circles. Good. Nice, and then let your shoulder blades hug the spine and create some space between the ears and the shoulders. So we want a lot of length in the neck. Low body from the waist down is rooted. And from the waist up, we are tall, supported by a nice long spine. Close your eyes if you haven't already. And just start to take a few intentional breaths. Maybe for the first time today, you're breathing deeply. We go through our lives dedicated to work or paying attention to others. It's not often that we pay attention to our own inhales and exhales. We're so lucky that our bodies can take in air, press out air on their own. But it's also important for us to tune in, to slow down, and be aware once more. We're always bringing it back to awareness. So we'll start to tap into an Ujjayi breath today. This is your victorious breath in your yoga practice. So exhale all your air, let it all go. Breathe in to a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale through the mouth. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In 5, 4, a little taller. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now seal the lips. Because our yin practice is much slower, you might find that throughout this practice today, you're able to extend your inhales past 5 counts, matching that with your exhales as well. For each deep breath in, dragging the air down the throat to create that whisper quality. And pressing air out the nose now with a nice oceanic sound. Good. And finally, as we're seated here, we'll bring hands to heart center, drop the chin, and take a moment to find your intention for your practice. Could be an intention just in this space for the next half hour, or it could be an intention you want to carry through your day. A simple mantra that's strong enough to anchor you back again and again. Something on your own again, or you can stick with our collective mantra today of I am open, I am free. In your mind, what does that look like? What does that feel like? I am open, I am free. Solidify that mantra in your mind, in your heart. I am open, I am free. Take a full breath in. Exhale it out completely. And we'll start coming into our postures. So today we're going to come onto our backs and then we'll move back up to seated. So if you have that bolster, that blanket available to you, go ahead and stick the short end toward the base of the spine. Again, if you don't have anything, that's totally fine too, not a big deal. I'm going to go ahead and lay my back on top of that bolster so it aligns with my spine. And depending on how long your bolster is, your head might relax onto the bolster, it might fall back. And from here, I have a nice open chest, so I can really feel my breath moving in and out. This is a nice release for the spine, especially those of us who have our shoulders tucked in all day at a computer, on their phones, in a car, whatever the case may be. So right now, I can leave my knees like this. If this feels good to you, feel free to stay. If you want some hip opening to also kind of target the low back, you can bring the soles of the feet together, Supta Baddha Konasana. Hands can fall where they feel good. So hands on belly as you tune into breath. You might choose to keep them by your sides, nice and light. Or you may bring them to a cactus to get an additional stretch coming through the shoulder blades and through the chest and collarbone. So wherever you are, get settled. Again, we hold these postures for a bit, so you've got time. You might find it helpful to move your head gently side to side. Let that physically signal to the body that it's time to let go. Let that energetically signal to the body that it's time to let go of any thoughts or anything stuck inside that's not serving us. Again, we're so busy in our day-to-day lives that when we finally take the time to slow down, you might notice that there are thoughts or events or people popping up in your mind that you haven't even given yourself time to really concentrate on or figure out what they mean, what it means. So acknowledge each thought that's coming up, acknowledge anything, any animal that's coming up to see you. Acknowledge anything that you're seeing, whether it's for the first time or for the 100th time today, but rather than dive in and perseverate, I want you to breathe in, feel each thought fully, and as you breathe out, simply let it go. Remembering our mantra, I am open, I am free. You are able to choose. You are free to choose your thoughts. Get used to that freedom, that sense of being, I am open, I am free. We'll take 5 more big breaths. Eyes might close, eyes might stay closed for the duration of the practice as you tune into this meditative quality of yin yoga. Take one more big breath in. Exhale it out. Okay, if you're on the bolster, gently rock your way to one side so you can remove it. Feel free to keep it close by. You might use it when we're seated in a little bit. We're going to stay on our backs for another posture, moving into a supine twist. So now, hopefully the chest is feeling a bit more relaxed and open. We're going to get into a nice twist to really work the low and mid spine. So knees straight up toward the sky. Bring your arms out like a capital T, palms face up. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, drop the knees to the right. Draw your gaze into that left palm, or again, simply close your eyes, whatever feels more comfortable for you. And then just start to notice. Start with the physical sensations. Can you feel that beautiful opening down the length of the left side body? There's space for air in the lungs. There's space for the heart to beat. Can you feel yourself open and free, allowing in whatever it is you're trying to manifest or trying to receive? What is it that you want to simply give yourself today? On the other side of that thought, can you feel the constriction in the low body, maybe the glutes, the mid-spine, low spine? Pay attention to where you're scrunching up the body. The body tends to compensate, especially in these deep holding postures. When we feel like the body is being challenged, we want to tighten up. So be aware if the knees are squeezing together, can you soften them? Be aware if the toes are scrunching up, can you soften them as well? Good, and we're already down to those last few moments. So where can you let go? Where can you allow yourself to surrender a little further? And take another big breath in. Let it out. Good, on an inhale, slowly draw your knees back to neutral. Reset the spine, reset the hips if they've shifted, and we'll just take that over to the left. As you drop your knees to the left, draw your gaze toward the right. Eyes closed or soft, feeling your way in. You might notice that it's easier for your body to open up on this side, or maybe the opposite. Maybe if you feel more tight on this side, it feels like a bit more constriction happening. Whenever you notice those differences in the body, be grateful. Our yoga practice is all about creating balance or bringing us closer to balance, closer to equilibrium. Simply the way our bodies are built and the way that we live our lives day to day means that we favor one side over the other. We do more with one side than the other. So don't feel like you have to force yourself into the exact same shape from side to side. Know that each time you spend time in a shape, in a posture, in asana, you are working your way closer to equilibrium. We're almost down to those last few moments. One of the beautiful parts about twists like this is that you can see yourself physically letting go of anything that doesn't serve you. Mentally, emotionally, letting go by squeezing yourself out like a sponge. Take a big breath in, big breath out. Okay, bring your knees back to center. Gently recenter the hips, and you can windshield wiper the legs a little bit side to side. Just kind of wash out that big stretch. So hopefully that work on the side body and on the hips is gathering its energy toward the low back and helping you to feel more relaxed there as well. We're going to come up to seated for our last few postures. So come onto one side, left or right. Use your hands to gently press you up to a seat. And again, you might want that bolster, that rolled up towel, that rolled up blanket, whatever you've got to protect the knees and to give your hips a little bit of a break. We're coming into Baddha Konasana, cobbler's pose. So a couple options, just want to show you how this looks so you know. We're going to bring soles of feet to touch the same way we did on the mat. We're going to get into a pretty big low back stretch now. So now that we're a bit more open, we're ready for that. So if you want to gather your props, place them simply under the knees like this. This keeps your knees supported so that it's not so much pressure as you're hinging forward. If you have blocks, one under each knee, same idea. It gives you a bit more support. If you're feeling pretty good, you can try keeping that bolster to the side and let your knees kind of fall heavy. So wherever you are, give a little wiggle, just kind of see how that feels. In our yin postures, we do want to feel that intense stretch, but not so intense that we're moving toward pain. We just want to gather our energy and breathe through it for the duration. So here we go. Shift around a little bit, get nice and flat on your sits bones. Peel your shoulder blades back, take a big inhale. As you exhale, start to hinge forward with a flat back. When you feel resistance and you can't come forward any further, breathe in again. And then exhale, let your back round. So from here, you can bring your arms out with palms face up for receiving, or you can play around with how it feels palms face down, whatever feels more natural to you today. Move a little bit side to side just to feel that in the low back. Really big stretch, really nice thing we're doing for our backs today. Good, and then as you're here, notice that your head wants to crank up, especially since you're watching this video, right? But we're here for a little bit, so it's okay to let your head go. Anytime we have an opportunity to let the back of the neck relax, we want to take that. And just notice, again, physically, where are you feeling this stretch the most? The low back, the hips. If you're feeling any pain in the knees, again, props to help you. Or you can scoot your feet a little further out in front of you. That can take some of the pressure off. As we feel ourselves gently being hugged toward the earth, gravity as our guide, we can very slowly, very subtly feel the spine begin to get a little bit longer. We're creating space through the vertebrae, doing so many good things for our posture, but also so many good things just for our overall sense of well-being throughout the day. I find that that first posture we did on our backs on the bolster, followed by this one in the morning, is really powerful for me. Depending on how you sleep, you might feel pretty sore in the morning, feel some aches and pains. This just really, for me at least, relaxes my back and lets me get that length back that I feel like I lost throughout the night. So I'll let you breathe through this. We've got about 5 breaths left. Again, anchoring again into mantra. I am open. I am free. Okay, breathe in. Breathe out. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Nice job. Start to round your way up. Make a little movement here. Just noticing how you're feeling at this point. We're over halfway through. We're moving actually toward the end point already. So notice if you're feeling more spacious in the low back and sides of the low back. All right, bolster again, always an option. What we're gonna do is bring the legs straight out in front of us. So we'll turn so you can see what that looks like. If your hamstrings are pretty flexible, if you know that you have the flexibility, you can just leave your legs straight out, heels connected or heels about hip width. If you want some support on the knees, you can slide a bolster underneath, just gives you a little bit of extra space, not so much to have to grab for or have to reach for rather. So remove the flesh from the sits bones. We're coming into what's called caterpillar pose in our yin practice, traditionally Paschimottanasana. So breathe your arms high, inhale. On an exhale, same as before, try to come forward with a flat back as far as you can. When you feel that resistance, you can't go any further. Take a full breath in. Exhale, start to round and descend. Palms face up or down. Shift a little side to side. Good, and then let your back really round. Let your neck relax. Shake out the head. Good, in this posture, when legs are out long, it's really natural for the toes to kind of prop themselves up. We feel like we need to have flexion somewhere, right? We're not used to just being soft for minutes at a time. So take that image out of your mind that you have to hang on, that you have to be so engaged. These postures, gravity is our guide. Gravity is our friend. So loosen up the toes, wiggle them out. As you do that, maybe shift yourself a little side to side and get a bit deeper in your posture. Let your elbows and shoulders relax and wiggle out 10 fingers as well. Each time you bring some movement into the extremities, it's a little signal that, hey, it's okay. It's okay to let go for now. It's okay to slow down. If your head is still cranked back, feel free to let it drop. And as you feel the full weight of your head, just notice what that does for the neck. How does the back of the neck feel when you really allow it to relax? Good, a few breaths here. Nice. Now pay attention to the muscles of your face as we move toward the last part of this posture. Are you scrunching up the cheeks? Are you locking the jaw? Even the tongue at the roof of the mouth. Can you release it all? Can you soften it all? Taking full breaths in. Full Ujjayi breaths out. With this big stretch, you are creating that freedom. I am open. I am free. Last breath in. Breath out. Slowly start to round your way up. Peel your shoulders up and back. Oh, how's that feeling in your low back? Hopefully just experiencing a nice release, nice length that we've been creating. Hands behind you. We'll do just another kind of short windshield wiper before our last posture. Good. Nice. Now one of the ultimate stretches on the spine, especially for the low back. Balasana, child's pose. This will be our last posture today before we come into closing breath. So take your time. If you want a supported child's pose today, props are our friend, right, in this practice. So if you want it supported, knees out wide, you can lay your belly on top and then let yourself kind of fall back. You can even rest your head on your bolster. If that's unnecessary for you today, you'd rather just kind of dive all the way in. And then bring your forehead to the mat, rock the head side to side. And because we're here for a bit, you might choose to come onto one ear for a while and then switch sides. Again, finding balance, so just ensure that if you are on one ear that you end up switching to the other halfway through, and I'll let you know. Compared to our Balasana in our Vinyasa series or even in Hatha, this is a slightly wider variation, so if you want to bring your heels out below the glutes, the big toes don't need to touch. So you can take this a little bit softer, a little bit deeper than you typically would. Feeling a slight pinch in the hip crease is totally normal. This is such a beautiful way to lengthen the arms, to lengthen the spine. Energetically, this posture brings us closer to the earth. Our hearts are close to the ground, which sends a signal to tell the body, I am safe, I am protected. As we lengthen out the back of the spine further, we start to feel the whole body really settling in. If you're on one ear, go ahead and switch to the other side. Letting the arms be heavy, letting the fingers relax so that the knuckles curl slightly. Can you soften your eyes, your eyelids, smooth out the breath, and challenge yourself to take in a little bit more air with each inhale, a little bit more air pressed out on each exhale. Know that you're doing so many good things for your body, your mind, and everything in between. We're down to our last 3 breaths. Stretch it out. Good, last full breath in. Exhale it out. Nice. Slowly, carefully start to press your way up. Bring the knees a little closer, about hip width. Come onto the palms. And from here, just take some really slow rounds of cat and cow to reboot everything. Bring everything back into alignment. Breathing in as you lift head high, breathing out as you press the mat away. And just feeling some gratitude for your body, feeling more stretched out, yes, but also maybe more centered in mind, more calm through breath. Good, last one. Nice, come back to center. And then come onto a seat. We'll end our practice the same way we began. So one shin in front of the other. Go ahead and shift a little side to side. Nice. Sit up nice and tall. Peel your shoulder blades back. Take an inhale. As you exhale, start to rotate the body one direction. So see your spine as one big spoon, stirring everything up, every movement, every posture, every breath melding together right here, right now. Good. Go ahead and switch directions. Nice. You have all the ingredients in your recipe, right? Okay, you can switch again. Just kind of feeling into what is right for your body at this point, and noticing if there are any places in the spine and the side body that still need some attention today. Always good to know. Again, asking our bodies, what do you need from me today? Good. Sit nice and tall. Peel your shoulders up and back. Take a big breath in. Sigh it out. 2 more like that. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, big breath. Exhale. Nice. Bring your palms to heart center. Bow your chin. Feel deep gratitude for whatever it took for you to be here today, to commit your time and energy toward healing the body and syncing up body, breath, and mind. Always worth the effort. May peace reside within you and because of you. May you hold and share your light. Thank you so much for being here. Until next time.